Round 1 goes to Shiv. Round 2 went to Brainwave Jr. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on this week's episode of Stargirl, that being part 2 of Shiv. And yes, turns out we were all right. Well, better yet, sort of right. We all thought that Cindy found out about Courtney's identity thanks to Pat, who showed up in last week's episode to come and save her and calling out her name. But no, it turns out Cindy found out just by looking at her. Which, to be honest, can we not all say, or better yet, let me put it this way. How many of us can finally be satisfied that it was that simple for people to figure out? I mean, we've had that in Batwoman, and now we have it here in Stargirl. If you guys know what I mean, I'm talking about how the secret identities of some of these people aren't that secret. Like, take Superman and Kara, for instance. You take off the glasses, and then their secret's out. Come on, guys. I'm pretty sure we can all understand and be happy that someone's not gullible to fall for stuff just because people put a mask over them, unless it's a good mask. And in Courtney's case, no, and no way, and her voice and stuff, nah. So I was happy on that end there. But what I definitely loved about this episode was how it went into the more infiltration side of things. Like, if there's one thing I've been loving about Stargirl, it's the different kind of themes that come with each of the episodes we get here and stuff. And I definitely loved in this one how it had us give us more focus on the other members of the JSA, that being Beth, Rick, and Yolanda, but mostly Beth, who I gotta say shined in this episode, and I would like to hope this makes people respect her more. If they don't like her, that's fine. They don't have to like her, because when she was... I don't disagree that she kind of was shoehorned in there when it came to her episode along with Rick and stuff, but at the same time, I already saw the great potential that girl could bring to the team, and she definitely showed it when she stood up to Rick. And yeah, stood up to Rick, then yeah, she may not be able to fight and everything, but she knew of a way to talk Rick down, and boy did she talk him down good right there. That it even got him to calm down and even made Yolanda agree with her plan. Now, bear in mind, that was a risky plan, but I don't think we can disagree that it wasn't as risky as what Courtney did, just rashly jumping in there in last week's episode, and kind of this week. But in this case, on Courtney's move, it was a bit more understandable in that case. But either way, though, I loved during that entire infiltration. I was sitting at the edge of my seat, especially when Beth went underground. She went inside the ISA's hideout. I was just like, oh no, girl, you need to get out of there. You are gonna get killed if you go any further in there. And she even heard grunting, and I was really scared then. I was like, girl, get out of there, get out. But man, it was definitely intensifying how they infiltrated Cindy's house and discovered and were talking with her stepmom, who the goggles of Dr. Midnight couldn't find any identity on her, showing that this woman is not human. At least that's the kind of thing we're getting here. Well, we can't really say for certain. We do know the Dragon King's a scientist and everything, and with the way that Cindy has been treating her stepmother and the way she is and stuff, it's kind of hard to say if she's human or just something. It's hard to really say here, but I hope we find out later on in episodes. But any case, them infiltrating was to find out more information on ISA and more connection, Cindy's connection they have with her, which is understandable. And yes, they finally were able to find one in the form of what her father used to be like before he did that DNA splicing of himself. And if you guys are wondering what he looks like under that mask, don't worry, something tells me we'll see it soon. And if y'all haven't seen it yet, just type in Stargirl JSA trailer and you'll see it, and you'll see it in that trailer, because it's shown pretty clearly there. But either way, though, I also love that interaction between Beth and Pat and everything during their infiltration. How he's just trying to be like, we gotta get out of here. No, come on, we gotta stay here. But yeah, no surprise he knows about Dr. Edos there, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this information, or better yet, what he tells them about this guy when he gets a chance to. And I loved how Patton got it, told them, you guys are just bad luck. Now, I don't think he meant that in a bad way. I just think he meant that in, why do you guys have to keep sending me all this bad luck of more developments happening after another, like more of a debacle after another? It's understandable right there, so I can understand that on a comedic level right there. But also, let me go into some short, detailed storylines here before we get into the main plot here, that being Cindy, Courtney, and Henry, aka Brainwave Jr. And that's in the fact that, remember in last week's episode where Mike was getting upset with the whole bonding that Courtney and Pat were having? Well, in this one, he did apologize and stuff, and it gave me that moment that I was hoping we would get. I admit this was a lot sooner than I expected, but hey, I'm cool with it. And that was a sibling bond between these two. And yeah, you can't say it's completely there yet. It's at that real close bond. It's more in the beginning stage where they're finally developing and coming together as a family, as they both see each other as brother and sister. And yeah, Mike apologized because he was just really getting, he's just always had been him and Pat and everything. Your typical thing when you're adjusting to new family, people coming in your lives and them being your family and just having to work through it and stuff like that. It happens. I've seen it happen, and that's happened with me before too, so I get that part. But I still love that brotherly moment they had there. And then we also got to see a little moment with Icicle here as he went to someone's house, and this business guy was the one responsible for his wife's death, or at least indirectly and stuff. And whether that guy was responsible or not, he wanted revenge and everything. It kind of helps you understand, kind of, at least for now, that maybe this Project New America isn't such a bad idea, but no doubt it is a bad idea. But in this case, for what Icicle doesn't like how it's stuff like that, like pollutions and other stuff that caused the death of his wife, and people getting away with it by covering up, which is what happens with all sorts of big corporations and stuff. So you can kind of understand him feeling vengeful and stuff and not wanting something like that to happen again, to a degree is the best way to put it. But either way, whether it's to a degree or not, he's hurting innocent people on the way. No excuse whatsoever there. But now that I said all that, though, it's time to get into our three main stars, that being Courtney, Cindy, and Henry in this one. Henry, who, as we've seen in the past few episodes, was slowly developing his powers, while in this one, he truly was starting to awaken his powers. At first, during this entire thing, he was thinking it was just a massive headache, and he needed to take some... what was that? Aspirins? Yeah, aspirins to calm him down until he fully was beginning to get it. Kind of, but it was at the end where he was truly starting to get it. And one's gotta wonder, what will that lead to going forward? Especially since he is a very big key in the ISA's plans for their new Project of America thing. I am very interested in that. But before we continue on with him, because I want to talk about the big event of his powers here later, we got to talk about Courtney and Cindy here in their interactions. Now, first off, we've always known, since last episode, we've known that these two have some similarities to each other. Some similarities, but even still, though, they go about things differently here. And I still can't deny that some of the action scenes between them were really good, just like this one was. I won't say it was better than last week's, but it still had some good spots to it. But what was really intense there was when Cindy came and visited Courtney at her house. I was like, so is she going to threaten her or anything like that? And no, she was just being all neighborly and stuff and hanging out like a friend and stuff and being all understanding. Of course, we all knew this was just a ploy and stuff, but then it finally came to a head when she revealed, yeah, she knows her identity, but she's keeping it a secret. And understandably so, because, well, unfortunately for Cindy, her father just doesn't respect her or acknowledge her or give her props to some things that she does, which is kind of something like Pat, but this one But this one is more on a superior level, thinking Dragon King knows everything. Pat is just more on that protective level of want to make sure Courtney doesn't end up like the JSA, and him being cautious and afraid to lose people, which makes him be sort of hesitant to make his move. Which, by the way, speaking of which, Pat actually had this amazing scene. Luke Wilson took this amazing scene of actually talking with the staff and trying to make him be more careful with Courtney. Because, yeah, we found out here that he knows the staff wants revenge for what they did to Sylvester, which I don't think any of us are surprised there. But still, to see him talk to it and it not respond and everything, it was so funny and so cool, because even though it looks like, even though we know he's talking to a staff and it's supposed to be ridiculous, it works for it. It really does work for it. And yeah, in the end though, the staff was understanding. He may not have responded when Pat talked to him, but he did respond after he left. And he did show that he did show it later. Yeah, the staff showed it later that it's not just going to go wildly into battle like Courtney, and this time being a little more wise. This makes me think this might have a little more better relationship and better coordination and stuff going forward and everything. But still though, when Courtney found out that the rest of the JSA were at Cindy's house, especially when they were almost about to be caught, of course she was desperate and thinking they were in trouble and stuff. Of course, and unfortunately though, since she was desperate and doing stuff like that, she kind of exposed her friends, not as in being caught and being captured, but in the fact that that now Cindy knows who was in her room when she made it home, because yeah, everyone else was able to escape without being noticed, but unfortunately Courtney showing up kind of exposed that they were the ones that were in her room gathering information and stuff, and might have found out their hideouts. But hey, in this one, I'm more easy on Courtney because she was just kind of in that little panic attack mode. So this one, we can kind of give her a little more slack on it. Even though, yeah, kind of rushing in there still is kind of her thing, but I'm sure she'll get it eventually. And yeah, no doubt she would have died this time by Shiva if Henry didn't show up, because Henry has actually found out that Cindy has never liked him as a boyfriend and has just been watching over him. He went to go confront her, and during that time, that's when Stargirl and Cindy were fighting, and he was just all confused and stuff until finally, BAM! Yeah, seeing that blast wave of brainwave energy flow through was just crazy. I was just like, whoa, man. But unfortunately, it all ended as Cindy was taken by Dragon King's henchmen back into the sewers. While in the meantime, Henry has found out Courtney's identity thanks to his psychic powers of reading her mind and everything. He still doesn't know fully what's going on, but this was definitely a great way to start us off for next week's episode, for when it's about Brainwave Jr. And I know the synopsis, and it's where Courtney's going to be in an argument with her team about adding him to the team, especially with Yolanda, considering their history. If y'all remember their history back from episode 4 and stuff, y'all know this is going to cause a bit of problems and a lot of drama going forward. But we'll definitely see what's going to happen going forward. This was definitely a great episode. We got everyone having a bigger role to play in this one, with a few small roles of nice things going on, and I just can't wait to see what more we're getting going forward. But until then, guys, let me go ahead and leave it all at that. And hey, if you're enjoying my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye!